Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Replay Metroid Fusion. In the last part, we learned that the Galactic Federation was doing a Metroid breeding program on this damn thing, even though that was completely contradictory to our mission back in Metroid 2. And now we're gonna continue on and see what we can find in this Torian lookalike. We're gonna need to place a power bomb there, by the way. And I hate how that that power pirate? That'd be completely terrifying. But then again, that's kind of what happens in this room, anyway. I hate how the wide beam can't penetrate them. Anyway, don't absorb those pirates because you want these gold ones to show up. And there's actually a bit of a glitch with these guys. Normally you're not supposed to be able to damage them unless you hit them from behind. But the way it's programmed is that you can't damage them when you're facing them. Or facing the opposite direction they are. If you fire and then turn around, you'll hit them... No, you'll actually be able to damage them, which is a weird little glitch. Acid! In fact, I think this is actually the only Metroid game where the acid's actually a different color from the lava. And thank you for opening right up, Mr. Sir. What boss are we facing now? Ah, shit. Well, it's Ridley. How bad could he be? It's not like he's gonna be 6 times his normal size right now. Okay, never mind. First off, I want to say, I love this remix of Ridley's theme. Strategies for Ridley here, obviously stay away from his gigantic sprites. And use your charge beam instead of the missiles, because the charge beam will actually penetrate him and do multiple hits. You can actually see, I think every time you see a little explosion is a different hit. In fact, that's a strategy for the rest of the game, really. Just use charge shots instead of missiles. And if Samus earlier didn't blow out your speakers on the Game Boy Advance, this probably did, because dear god, this guy is loud. And then he just becomes normal Core X, kind of anticlimactically. He's not that hard of a boss, though. He's really hard to... He's surprisingly easy to dodge for being such a big guy. In fact, I think his Core X is harder to dodge at times. That's really funny, too, because I think all the Core X's HP aside have the exact same programming. But for beating him, we get the yes, we get the somersault. We can now jump vertically, or horizontally, rather. But we get the screw attack, so now our somersault destroys everything. And now that we've beaten both Nightmare and Ridley, I can say this now. Nightmare and Ridley here are actually the exact same things that they were in Other M. Because at the ending of Other M, spoilers by the way, I'm going to be spoiling this. You see Ridley's corpse there, and I'm not going to obviously spoil how it gets there. But the Galactic Federation take it after the ending before Samus comes back for that post-game stuff in Other M, and that is actually Ridley's corpse that got frozen and turned into an X-parasite earlier in the game. And Nightmare, his corpse got brought here at some point as well. If he was dead to begin with, that is. I can never tell if Metroid games where things are dead unless they explode violently. In fact, that's one thing I really like about Zero Mission, Fusion, and Super Metroid. Everything explodes violently when you kill it. Like that. In fact, I think this might be the most satisfying incarnation of the screw attack, just because of the little cross-shaped explosion that comes off the enemies. But now it's actually time for us to head back to Sector 1, because remember that platform I told you back when we were in Sector 1 to keep in mind for much, much later in the game? The one yellow and black one? Guess where we are. Yep. It took all the way until the finale. And that's a Metroid shell. That's kind of weird. Yeah, it's probably nothing that big. I mean, this was a Metroid breeding program, but wait. That mean a Metroid survived? Oh, this might not be good at all, actually. Because those Metroid shells were actually in Metroid 2, albeit they were much, much smaller. They were like half the size of Samus and that, now they're as big as her. And now I'm actually heading back into this lava room from earlier, because there's actually 2 missile tanks we can get in here now. This one you could have gotten the moment you got the Varia suit, but I waited until now because this is... well, because I don't have to backtrack. And the other one is right up here. You could have gotten that one the moment you got the space jump, actually. And I expect you to come here fairly early, at least, because there's green hatches instead, and more Metroid shells. That's kind of worrisome, actually. Though I do love the song that plays during this part of the game. There you go, when this game's soundtrack is catchy, it's damn catchy. Hello, Mr. Purple, what's going on now, you traitorous bastard? Samus, we're done here. Leave the rest to the Federation. We should be preparing to evacuate the station. Are you joking? Do they know how dangerous the X are? How quickly they reproduce? The Federation is taking interest in the X and the SA-X. They believe this life form has endless potential applications. This is ridiculous. The X are heartless abominations. What potential could they have? It's not necessary that you understand such matters. The Federation is coming now. You should just leave quietly. This is madness. They won't be able to stand a chance here. This station will devour them. What could be worth the risk? Capturing the SA-X, of course. Are you serious? Do they think they can really succeed? It will certainly be difficult, but they don't expect your help. They know you would try to destroy the SA-X. That's why they stopped sending you support data. The plasma beam modification was released some time ago, but they withheld it to keep you from engaging the SA-X, but somehow you restored it on your own. They also tried to withhold the diffusion upgrade, but they didn't want you to become too powerful. But they had already sent it, and you somehow tracked it down. Bravo, Samus. They must cancel the mission. Open channel HQ. I won't let this happen. They're already on their way. Fools. And... oh, that's right, I forgot this scene even exists. As soon as the Federation ships land, the X will overwhelm them and absorb the knowledge and power of their occupants. The X are just waiting for the hunt to begin. And then they'll spread across the universe. Galactic civilization will end. The X hunger for form, knowledge, and power. They mimic these perfectly, but they cannot copy the soul. They're single-minded, instinctively sinking to increase in number. They're a plague, and the Federation underestimates their threat. The X must not leave here. I must destroy them all before the Federation arrives. This station has a self-destruct mechanism. I must use it to destroy the X here and on the planet. I must send them to oblivion. Them, the station, and myself if I have to. And, Mr. Purple, you forgot to open a hatch. I kinda need to get to my ship to escape if you want me to leave anyway. Open the hatch. I've been ordered to confine you until the ships arrive. Don't let them do this. Can't you see what'll happen, Adam? Adam? Who's Adam? A friend of mine. And what would this friend advise you to do now? He would know that the only way to end this is to start the self-destruct cycle. He'd know how important it is. Did this Adam care for you? Would he sit in a safe command room and order you to die? He would understand that some must live and some must die. He'd know what it meant. He made that sacrifice once. Spoilers for other M, God. So he chose life for you, our fair warrior Samus Aran. For the sake of the universe... I missed that one line. How foolish. How dare you? How could you hope to understand machine? You know that detonating the station in high orbit would not guarantee the complete extinction of the X-parasites, even though the station would be utterly destroyed. You'd only succeed in removing one obstacle to the galaxy's ruin, yourself. You would ignore the simple fact and choose death. When Adam decided who would live, he chose incorrectly. If you were to alter the station's orbit, then you might be able to include the planet within the vaporation field of the self-destruct detonation. Eh? You have to start the propulsion sequence now, before the Federation arrives. Samus, this is your last mission. Go to the operations room and adjust the station's orbit path to intercept SR-388. Then return to your ship and escape. Move quickly and stay alive. That's an order. Any objections, lady? Plot twists! The computer has Adam's personality all along. Dun dun dun. And if you're going for 100%, this is probably the best time to go through all 6 sectors and the main deck and get everything you need. Because we're in the final stretch of the game. We're finishing the game this part if it wasn't obvious by the finale title. Or finale in the video title down below. So yeah, we actually have to head back to the place pretty much where we got the missiles, which is kind of a book ending kind of thing that I do like. I always fail to go into a Shine Spark there. But now that I actually have the screw attack, I can use this little shortcut I showed off earlier. Whee! I just saved myself like 2 minutes. Well, not really, probably more like 45 seconds. If even. And I'm actually going to get my last power-up for the game, which is actually in this, and that actually dropped a red X-parasite, but I didn't collect it. And once you know, I'm getting a power bomb last. This one's a bit tricksy to get to because it doesn't actually blow up that area. Of course, the strategy guide probably shows it off anyway, but... Also, if you're going for 100%, enjoy the soundtrack because you're going to be hearing this song in specific for quite some time then. Gonna save because this is actually the last save room in the game that we can use. And sad to say, I'm gonna say this right now, but this does not even get close to my best time. Well, it does, but my best time was like an hour 20. If even. I think no, actually no, I think my best time was an hour 15. Around there at least. But then again, I think it's because I was actually reading through the dialogue instead of just skipping it all super quickly. Also, make sure you save before coming up here, not only so you can keep all the progress you've kept, but because, well, as you can see, all these doors are locked, so it's a boss fight time. And against who? Well, just the SA-X. And honestly, the SA-X fight is kind of anticlimactic. Alright, strategy for the first phase is when you shoot him, or whatever, jump over it, and then it should do 1 or 2 screw attacks, then just shoot another charge shot directly at it. Missiles do little to nothing against this thing. It's rather easy, honestly. Although, if you do hit it, or get hit by it, it does hurt, especially the ice beam. And if you hit it, screw attack, while screw attacking, you will both do damage to each other, which is a nice little detail I like. It doesn't just cancel out. And one nice little attention to detail I like with the first phase is that when it gets lower in health, it actually starts to go all pixely when it lands from a jump. Anyway, the second form of the SA-X can be taken out quite quickly. If you jump to the correct height and then unleash a charge attack, it'll actually do like 6 or 7 different hits and finish it off very quickly. And then after that, it becomes a beam core X, which is kind of anticlimactic, but I can understand why. And of course it hits me. I almost no-hitted this thing. Though the ice beam, ironically, hurts more when the SA-X itself is using it than the beam core X part of it. I don't know why that is, but that's the way it is. So let's get the ice beam, shall we? Hey, wait, come back! Oh, plot convenient walls. And that was me wondering if I could actually use the save and recharge room, but you can't. I've actually never checked down there. So let's come up here to the operations deck, I believe. No, operations room, rather. And now, time for the final charge of the game, guys. We have 3 minutes to escape, and we get another remix of Ridley's theme, which is different from the actual Fight with Ridley's theme. Odd. Though I do like both versions in this game. I'm not sure what it is about Ridley's theme that actually makes it really good for escaping. Because the song didn't even start out as Ridley's theme, rather. It started out as just a normal boss theme that a couple of bosses used in Super Metroid, but it just seemed to fit Ridley a lot for some reason. Maybe because he was the first boss you heard with it? Although I can say for a fact my favorite version of this song is the one in Other M, because Other M's soundtrack, when it gets good, it gets good. Although I do think it's probably the weakest soundtrack in the series. Oh, Other M. What the? This room wasn't like this before. Okay. And neither was this room. Okay. Whoa, that is a big Metroid shell. Probably nothing I can worry about. What the? That's an Omega Metroid, and he's like 3 times the size they were. Oh my god, he did almost all my health and damage. He'll always reduce you to 1, by the way. What the? Oh, great. Oh, great. You're helping me. Are you just tackling the bigger threat, or do you actually respect me somewhat? Jump and grab that immediately. We get the ice beam and our original color scheme back. The fight against the Omega Metroid isn't hard. Just do a charge shot and aim at its abdomen. If you do get hit, you will be back into that little state you were in earlier, like this. Also, one little thing about that weird little crouching state that's kind of a weird detail is that if you hold anything on the directional pad, you'll actually look up. Now, one thing I find odd about Omega Metroid... Okay, first off, that was a 3-hit combo. He's never done that to me before. But, in Metroid 2, weren't they just about the same size as Samus? I mean, sure, that was on a Game Boy screen, so... Yeah, but still, that is ridiculous. And he's dead. That was rather easy. But where's our ship? That's not good. And I'm assisting in blowing up the station. Although I find it weird that it's hitting a non-existent wall on the screen. The moment you hit the... And with that, we just beat the game, guys. Now let's get the heck out of Dodge. And somehow that blows up the planet with it. I don't get how. That perfect military mind, the wisdom of Adam Malkovich, continued to serve even after death. Until today, I had no idea that the minds of leaders and scientists were frequently uploaded to computers. My incredible reunion with Adam may have saved the universe. But how will the beings of the universe view our resolve? I doubt they'll understand what we did, the danger we barely averted. They'll hold tribunals and investigations. They'll hold us responsible. Adam understood this, and he spoke to me in my anger. Don't worry. One of them will understand. One of them has to. I reflected upon his words, and I see the wisdom within them. We're all bound by our experiences. There are the limits of our conscience in this. But in the end, the human soul will ever reach for the truth. This is what Adam taught me. Just one detail still bothers me, though. This ship can only be started manually, yet before I fought the Omega Metroid, it moved on its own. Guided by someone's hand. Is it possible? Adam? Are you a robot? I love the little attention detail that the little explosion effect back there, by the way, actually gets bigger. Lady, what's troubling you? Wonder how I started the ship? Just think about it. They lent me a hand.
Ah, they're all sleepy and it's so adorable.
They're returning the favor from Super Metroid's best ending, by the way. And with that, everyone, that's the end of Let's Replay Metroid Fusion, and I gotta say, I still absolutely love this game. This and Zero Mission are tied for my favorite game in the series, and the thing is, honestly, I think that the two of them are an experience together instead of apart. Whenever I play one of them, I always go immediately and play the other one after I beat the first one, whichever one I play. Though they do have elements that I like and don't like. Like, overall, since they're so absurdly short, considering I played them so much, they don't take much at all. That was a sentence of bad grammar. The thing is about them is that, between the two, though, Zero Mission's the more exploration-based one, whereas this one's more action-based, because while they're both linear to an extent, they tell you where to go, but they don't tell you how to get there, which is a system I like. But as for Fusion on its own, though, I think it's probably the second most action-packed Metroid game, with Prime 3 in first in that regard. The soundtrack, when it gets good, it gets fantastic. The Ridley themes, the boss themes, these credit themes, fantastic. And it looks pretty good, even for a 2004 Game Boy game. Wait, no, this was 2002, wasn't it? It was one of the two. And storyline-wise, this is actually the last Metroid game, chronologically, and we haven't gotten a sequel to it for some reason. And honestly, I can see why, because I think Nintendo might be afraid to see what they could do with the storyline after this, because now Adam and Samus are technically criminals. But, anyway, if you want to play this game, go and get a Game Boy Advance cartridge, but good luck, because if I recall correctly on Amazon, they are around... I'm not actually sure how expensive they are. I'm going to look this up right now. Copies of the Game Boy Advance cartridge are approximately $85, whereas it's up like 5 to 10 on the 3DS Advancer programs, which I recommend you get it on that. Anyway, it's time for us to see our gameplay time and completion percentage. But yeah, fantastic game. Absolutely love it. Yeah, 135. That's not my record, but that is actually my average time. And my rate for collection is 52%. That's pretty average for me, actually. But with that, first off, I gotta say, I love the little song that plays after this little victory theme plays. It's a remix of, I want to say, Sector 1's theme. But it's a fantastic little song. But with that, I'm going to need to end this thing off here. Thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I'll see you guys in the next Let's Play, whatever that may be. Mystery Dungeon should return fairly soon. See you guys then.